Welcome everyone. It's part two of the political rant. Back where we left off. So anyway, you know, I could start spreading awareness for these. For every political party. If it isn't from the project I dubbed Project RD, then I will basically, in a way, make a political channel as well for pure politics. However, I will only update this part of the channel upon only elections. Only elections. Remember, I am not affiliated with any source, really. I'm just looking at it from the way a neutral person would. And remember, I'm a minor. I can't vote yet. So even if I did want to vote, I couldn't vote. So this is my way of having my voice heard. Okay? Now, the GOP, the Republican Party, you name it, the Grand Old People Party. In fact, I even learned this from my mother. This fact about the UK. The UK, my mom says, is a future if the Democrats always win. That's literally it. And my mom told me healthcare is so troublesome that most people would die before they see a doctor. That makes you kind of wonder how dark is it. So, how dark it would be if that happened in the land of the free, the land of the brave. Now, on various attacks made by the candidates, I like to make my own interpretations of them. Okay, I'll give you one example of my interpretation upon this Trump quote. The election is rigged. That quote alone has led me to speculate that maybe since Clinton says that she has to prepare for two sides of Trump, I figure maybe I could refer to that quote once again to maybe then make a speculation that, of course, Donald J. Trump, of course, knows a bit about it. Because remember, before he got the nomination for the Republican Party, he at first, even though he ran Republican, he was threatening several times to go independent, in which the Republicans knew if he was successful in that, the vote would be taken away from the Republican Party into the independent candidate, making this election have no GOP candidate, eliminating the thing of two-party system. Literally, guys, that's how I interpret it. And of course, since the parties are so, you can say, stubborn and iron-booted, that they don't want to be booted from their rock of the two-party system. So they gave Trump the nomination. Okay? Now think of it. And of course, I have another interpretation. And of course, my parents, my mom specifically, my mom says that Trump is the weakest candidate for the GOP, and that mostly illiterates would vote for him. And to a certain point, I do agree. My parents are boomers, being born within the range of 1933 to 1960 or so. My dad was born in 61, my mom was born in 64. And remember, I don't want to say my age, Doug, dang it. You can say it's the power my computer's on, -3. That'll give you a hint. Can't do math? Then too bad for you. Oh man. Okay, yeah. I'm getting a bit. Yeah, I'm getting a bit off track here. So I better get off track. Get back on track. Sorry. Listen to my mom trying to tell my daughter to be quiet. Oh well. So what was I on again? Jeez. Might as well keep my room soundproof or something, because it ain't working. What was I on? Do I have to make a part 3 so I can remember what I was saying? Yeah, this is embarrassing. To me, anyway. This is kind of embarrassing. So let's see. Thinking about electoral college. Oh yeah, the second speculation. Okay, now I remember the second speculation. Sorry there, folks. As the dog's barking made me forget what I was talking about. So let's see. So second speculation. Okay, so I'm trying to get my ideas together here. Suppose that the election really is really rigged. You could say that it was rigged in a way that many people would not expect. Literally, backward rig. That's used like a tactic. You know how they say political politics is a battle all in itself. Well, there's rules and tactics of war that the political parties do to each other. So anyway, I think based on that kind of statement, that if it wasn't the first one, it would be likely to be the second one, which is basically Clinton paid the delegates and superdelegates or some of them, to vote Trump, so they can get all the stronger politicians in the GOP out of the race. And then, of course, the Democratic Party then put Clinton as their nominee when they rigged the Electoral College once again vote for Clinton. I'm pretty sure. I would have had Bernie Sanders do it. Some say that would be awfully, you could say, commie of me. You could say. Don't get the joke. Sorry, it's a reference to communism. Done in China now. So now we got this supposed really good offensive, which is a defense mechanism to make sure that Trump doesn't become independent, or for the fact that Clinton will always win, guaranteed. Think about it. It would explain why Trump is saying the election is rigged, and of course the wicked media. This quote going on a different set of speculation. The wicked media. Now I have quite a bit to say about this physically. So how you could say the media affects politics is that they give the politician publicity, and more publicity that a politician has, the more votes they're going to get, because people will be aware of them. People will be more aware, and they'll be more likely to get on debates, which once again, in turn, give them more votes. Half the reason why, aside from the Electoral College being rigged against independent parties, is another reason why independents don't make it to the presidential primary elections, is for one reason: the media does not cover them equally. Now, you might hear this phrase every once in a while. It is tough to equally cover a presidential election. Considering how hard it is, well, they're not even covering the third party camp. They're not even covering third parties. Nah, dip, Sherlock. We know that. They ain't covering everyone who is trying to run. Everyone who's on the ballot. It's because of this. In fact, my dad tells me that most of the news and media outlets are Democratic, explaining why The View likes to support Clinton, not because they're women. Which, if you don't know what The View is, let's see, The View. Yeah, basically this table of five girls telling news and gossiping about it on television. So anyway, the first episode I ever watched of this was during one about Pokemon Go, but that isn't important. So another episode I heard was them talking only about Clinton and how good Clinton is, and then of course them speaking bad about Trump. Now, this could be a potential reason, but a less likely reason is that would be their sex. They're okay. Technically, if you prefer one sex over another biasly, then you're technically sexist. Regardless, that's being politically correct, and I'm saying this to outcorrect people of a politically correct society. Okay, and how much I hate being politically correct. It's the most professional thing to do on my YouTube channel. And cussing among that isn't. And I frankly don't like cussing because to me, and also to my father, because in the way he's raised me, if you cuss, then you're not smart because you can't think of any other words to use. Now think of it as this: every time a political candidate slams each other with a really bad, brutal word, they're basically saying how unsmart they are. It's because they're calling each other unintelligent words that we can hear, and we take it really seriously. Not as seriously as in the way I would expect, but we take it seriously as like, kill him, roast Trump, man, roast Clinton, girl, huh? Seriously, it's like a conversation with millennials between each other. If you could say they were gangsters, they'd be trying to roast each other left and right. Okay? In which they say that's wrong in a non-politically correct society. So even if you try being politically correct means having class. And that, my friends, is classless. Okay? Now, my father and my mother were raised by people who had class. Okay? I'm not speaking of wealth level, even though practically they both were rich. Both my grandparents were rich. Grandparents on both sides were in ways rich. My grandfather started with nothing. So did my mother's father. He started out with nothing. He had to build his way up from zero to absolute power. Back then, business was a little more sincere. But today, corporations can be taken off the backs of the people, which is why some say Trump is bad, because he uses his corporation's money to donate to his foundation. Okay? Even though technically it's a crime and by regulation to receive donations from foreign donors, Clinton's gotten away with it. Okay? And of course, using your charity to fund a campaign, bad. Once again, the Wounded Warriors Project was accused of this. So once again, politics has found themselves in a big knot. You could say, I wanted to add with me around, but I really wonder, am I the only one who thought that out? Seriously. Am I really the only one? And so we have about 2 minutes, 5 seconds on the clock, so I guess I could cut this short. I'll propose my final solution in the last and third part of this rant. Twizzles.